Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Power Couple Conversations.
That's right. That's right.
What's your name?
My name is Randy Harden the Prez.
I'm Michelle Harden, the brand master, and we are excited, guys. We have been literally interviewing power couples from the north, south, east, and west, and we're having a phenomenal time doing that. And tonight is like none other. Are you ready?
I am ready.
You ready?
And I'm excited.
Y'all know that's his word.
Listen,
excited.
I'm a coin the phrase.
I'm gonna get you a t-shirt.
I know it's been out there, but I'm a coin the phrase. I am excited.
And it has to have your picture with that big smile on your face.
That's right.
I mean, it wouldn't really sell other than that. It needs your big smile. Okay.
It wouldn't.
Guys, tonight, get ready. We have a phenomenal guest. They're out of the Lamarque, Texas area. And I know when I said that, immediately came to mind Pastor Clint and Kim Yancy. Now, let me tell you a little bit about them. They are a phenomenal power couple. Pastor is a second or third generation pastor. He's going to tell us all about that. Kim is a councilwoman there in the Lamarque City area. And I'm telling you, they're doing dynamic things in that area. Yes. And they have pivoted during this pandemic time. Their ministry is growing and they're doing phenomenal things together. So we want you to help us. Welcome them by putting some hearts in the chat, by also putting some hand claps in the chat, and more importantly, by sharing this with other individuals and power couples that you know, because I know something will be said on tonight that's going to help you. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
All right, let's bring them on.
Let's get it.
Hello, guys. Hello, family.
Hello.
I know Kim has all of these titles. Clint is so modest, but Kim has all of these titles: First Lady, author, councilwoman, used to be a school teacher. She's an advocate. And so when we say Kim, we're also speaking, for pastors as well, because they're one. So I know they're in that together. So welcome, guys, to Power Couple Conversations. How y'all doing?
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doing good. So, Pastor, we're going to start with you. We're going to put you in the hot seat tonight.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about you being a pastor and being a husband, all of that, those dynamics wrapped into one. Tell us, how did you get into becoming a pastor?
Okay. Well, thank you again for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful show. Well, my journey actually began when I was 14, when I started preaching in the preaching ministry at my dad's church. And so, but I didn't become a pastor until I was 25. After he had passed away in 96, they voted me in as pastor of the church. And and I spent maybe about 13, almost 14 years there. And I felt that God said our assignment was up there. So we started another ministry in the Dickinson, Texas area. And we've been there now 11 years.
Wow.
So a total of about 25 years since I've been pastoring. Yes.
Were y'all married at the time?
We were married.
Yeah. Wow.
Young. Yeah. You can imagine 25, young.
Yeah.
Trying to lead a church.
Listen, you don't have to say anything. Just the nod of the head tells a whole lot.
Yeah. You and you.
Yeah.
That's why we won't have a church, because this one right here, that's all they're gonna get in.
You think I'm gonna cut up when God called me? I'm gonna straighten up when He called me.
I hear you.
But Kim, tell us a little bit about that journey being a first lady so young.
Ooh, it was challenging, just to be quite honest with you. His dad passed away unexpectedly. His dad was 51, and he was our mentor, and he had a heart attack and passed away. 6 months later, my dad died in May, and he was 47. And the next month, a month after my dad passed, Clint was called to pastor his dad's church. And so we were grieving at the time. So it was a challenge, but it's been an amazing journey. We've learned a lot. When I look at my kids and I say, they're like 19, 22, 23, and 26. I'm like, we were pastoring at 26.
Oh.
24, 25, that's crazy. But with God, it has been an amazing ride. We've learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes. But did you look at me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the juice.
But it was though, because he was pastoring his dad's church that his dad founded. The charter members were still there, and they were grieving. His dad was an amazing man. So, but we still had to keep the church going. So it was, being a pastor's wife was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Yeah. How did they meet, honey?
How did they meet?
Yeah, how did y'all meet? Who want to tell the real story? You're talking about 20-some years ago.
28 years. 29. Well, we met.
It'll be 29 in November this year.
Right. Yeah.
29 years y'all been married?
We've been married. It'll be 28 this year, but we met probably 30 years. We met 1992. Is when we met.
Well, it'll be 30 years in November.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Ma'am.
Where were you?
Well, okay, here's the story. Okay. You asked how we met. Okay. Okay, now this is kind of our story. We were born the same year, a day apart. She's a Christmas baby. I'm a day after Christmas. We were born in the same hospital, day apart. And so I like to say that I met her 50 years ago in the nursery. And we just, I don't know if she was right by me but she was so very close by me in the nursery. But I like to say that that's when we met, unofficially. But officially we met when we were both like 20, 21, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was at, we had a youth group, community youth group back during that time. And so we had just wrapped up our session. And we asked, first of all, no, she came and spoke at one of the sessions. She came and spoke. She was one of the guest speakers. And I was like, man, who is that? And so of course, she thought I was a youngster, but didn't know we were the same age.
I thought he was 12.
And so,
and I was like 20, 21.
Yeah, she was like 20. We are the same age, but she thought I was a lot younger than that. But because of my hairstyle, I had a botch, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and we had
you sitting like this the whole time I was
checking out.
I'm like, kid and play, huh?
Yeah.
Who is this kid that's looking me up and down while I'm speaking? Like, who is this guy?
Yeah. So we had mutual friends that were part of that group, and so I sent word. to through them to tell her that hey, I'd like to get to know her and get get to know her and all that kind of stuff. So they were like, okay, we did, and they did.
Oh my God.
But of course she didn't remember who I was and all that. So long story short, the next year she came. We had at the same group. We just finished up with another session, and me and the director of the group, we were outside getting ready to go, and here she comes pulling up with us. She's passing out information from their church in Dickinson, from our home church. Mm-hmm. And so me and the director, Reverend Andrews, we were outside, and so she got out the car, and I was like, man, that's that girl right there. That's that. And so he was like, yeah, that's Kim. I said, oh man. I said, wow, yeah, that's just my time now. So but I approached her and shook her hand and everything, and she had a boyfriend at the time. And who happened to be a friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't know it. She didn't know how close we were, but he happened to be a friend of mine. We flew together and all that. And but that's who she was dating. And I was like,
oh, he was very aggressive.
So
he was very like, you need to be with me. God is telling you to be with me. You're going to be my wife. I was like, who is this dude? I don't want to be a preacher's wife. That is not what, because everybody kept saying, Reverend Yancy wants to meet you. He wants to take you out. And I was like, I don't do preachers. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was a preacher at the time. He was already a preacher.
Yes. And a musician. So he was known to be he was a triple threat. He could sing, he could preach, and he was, well, when we started dating, he took me to his daddy's church. His dad was out of town. So he sang, he preached, and he directed the choir. He was just showing out.
Get you a shirt. I'm gonna get you a shirt, Doc.
He could sing, preach, and play. So played the organ. So yeah, so he kind of let me know I'm the one. You gonna, and then on the second date, he would sing When We Get Married. And I was like, okay.
Tell about your dream you had.
Oh, and then I had a deja vu. Now this is really I had a deja vu experience where we were in a choir singing because we both like to sing. And so in that particular rehearsal, Graylin Andrews was directing, which was kind of weird because he was a singer, but he really wasn't a director. So he was directing us, and and Clint was sitting in the tenor section, and I remember a dream I had where in the dream, the person that was sitting where he was my husband. So that was like confirmation, God saying, that is your husband. Because, I was kind of used to jocks, and most of the guys I dated with athletes, and
I can't see on camera.
He said it was losers.
Yes. So he was kind of an academic, reader kind of dude, and then talked about God all the time.
I was a nerd. I was.
So it was kind of, but intellectually we got each other, and I didn't, I could talk about God with him, and he was very sure of himself, and he was not intimidated by what God had put in me at all. If anything, he was his family's wonder boy, and I was my family's wonder girl. So we came together. Yeah.
So what your parents were saying, I wonder if Kim is.
No, my dad loved him. My dad was like, I like him, and I was like, and of course when Clint came to the house, because my dad he was a very good looking man. So when my dad answered the door when Clint first took me out, he goes, "Oh, you must be Kim's brother." Okay, 2 points.
I didn't know. I mean, I was like, oh, because I knew him, I knew of him, and I'd seen him before, but I didn't know that was her dad.
Right.
So when I got to the house and he opened the door, I'm like, I know you, but you must be her brother. He just laughed and grinned. He had like her grin, that big old grin. That's the kind of grin he had.
Yeah.
So I guess I was in.
Oh, he was in, and then he came to the piano because my dad was a singer and played because he plays by ear. So it was over. But what I love about him is he had a good family name, and everyone knew his family, and that was important to me. That you are a third generation pastor.
Third generation preacher.
Pastor. Yeah. So that helped. That one helped.
I said that too. Second or third generation pastor. I did say that. Okay, so when we talk about, you guys, very humble beginnings. You met very early, and then being in marriage as long as 30 years. Wow, Kim and Clint, that's a long time to be together. So we say not easily broken. You guys probably could relate to that. That going through marriage, there's been some times where you've really had to lean on the Holy Spirit to keep you guys together.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, tell us. Only what you want us to know.
Well, no, marriage is a friendship. It's a lot of loving, a lot of forgiving, a lot of growing, because we did grow up together. And one thing my dad, what helped us were our parents. Our parents had been married over 25 years, both of them. And my parents were over a marriage ministry at Mount Sinai under Pastor A.W.A. Mays, who's our cousin, and they had over like 200 couples underneath them. So we were around people that valued marriage, and so we would do it all the time. But we lived in a little efficiency. It wasn't even a 1-bedroom. It was.
And see, and knowing that they were a family of means, if you want to say that. And so and at the time let me see, was I living here? No,
you were living here when we got engaged.
But she made me move to Austin.
Oh no, we got engaged.
Yeah, actually, I want to move, but so I moved there, and I had I had a little apartment. It was an efficiency. It didn't even have a bedroom door. I mean, you walk in there, you walk in the living room, right? I mean, just right there was the kitchen, and then to the left was the bedroom with no door, and that was it. you know, and it was all of maybe 500 square feet.
Yeah, I'll give you 700.
Okay, 700. Okay, but I didn't think she would go for that. I mean, I'm just like, well, I mean, this is all I got right now. You know, I'm just trying to find my way. You know, so but she you know, she adapted and all of that. So of course God kept blessing us, you know, as we went along. But yeah, being together almost 30 years this year, you know, it's we've had our ups and downs. We've had several challenges, and but you know, and I keep telling when we were going through, and I just shared it. When we were going through, you know, I'm leaving, I'm going, I'm leaving, I'm divorcing, I'm gonna divorce, I'm gonna divorce. I said, you keep saying that, and I'm gonna do it, and one day it's gonna happen. but God always, you know, we always came back and prayed and all. So you know, it is not easy at all. You know,
but what he says though is, wherever you go, I'm going. So you divorce, I'm going with you. So
see, like this past, like in Vegas, just, you know, in Vegas we had a little spat, you know, in Vegas this Christmas. She started packing her bags. I'm going to the airport. I'm like, okay, well, give me time. Let me pack my bags. You go, I'm going. I mean, we going together, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
you know, it's funny that you guys say that, because we were sharing with another couple, and they were sharing about how every marriage have these tensions, and every marriage have these, you know, heated fellowships, if you will. That's what we call them, heated fellowships. Okay. They said the only difference between a successful marriage, 30 years, and a marriage that decided to stop is because they didn't push through the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, they didn't push through
HIJK
elemental P. You know, when you want to kill them, when you want to, you know, all those things.
QRS.
Every marriage goes through that. And so the marriages that we're seeing now, the world is showing a different type of marriage, right? And they're literally forcing their version of marriage upon us. Been in 30 years, how do you guys, you know, recommend, what would be your advice to how we let these marriages that we have, the struggles, the good, the bad, you know, really elevate so that the world can see that God's marriage really works?
Yeah.
So some people think it's boring, you know, they think
no.
outdated, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
I think you have to understand the seasons of marriage. Like, we're empty nesters now. So yeah. And so
we understand.
So, you know, we're old enough now to kind of rediscover each other, you know. So marriage is all about seasons. It's about, I mean, but I can't imagine life without him. I mean, I love Clint Yancy. And he's not perfect, and I think I do. He's not. He's. I mean, no, but I think you have to allow each other to be human. You have to allow each other. You have to understand your humanity, and understand, because we did marry young. We were very naive. We were both raised in the church. And so we grew up together. And my dad used to always say, you have to learn your husband. You have to learn him. You have to give him space to grow as a man of God. And I didn't really understand the pressures of marriage and the church and dealing with the community as well. And when I look back now, he's always acted older than his age as far as wisdom. He wasn't want to go out and want to do all that kind of. He's always been very focused. He knew what he wanted, and very intense. And so I think that has helped us as well. Like, he can be quiet, I can be woo woo, so we kind of we balance each other well. But I think that the main,
and this is the woo woo and I'm the quiet one. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's always kind of that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, we love Jesus. And I think we trust him. And I don't think I could last more than a week without him. You know what I mean? That's why I'm dramatic, so I may say a lot, but I ain't going nowhere.
Clint,
you are an actress. You're an actress. You're a creative writer. You know how to create those scenes and the playwrights and all of that. So
Hey.
You can always bring this up, Clint. I ain't going nowhere.
Oh, I remind us. Okay, that's cool if you want to, but I ain't going nowhere.
No,
I'm going with you.
I'm going with you. I mean, that's all it is.
You guys' life also, honey. I don't want to ask all the questions. You ask questions.
Listen, I'm not going to interrupt you until it's time.
Go ahead.
Listen, always have a question.
I
always have a question. When you guys met and you felt that he was the one and he felt like you was the one, what was the next step?
Ooh.
That was at a banquet. It was at my church banquet.
Yeah.
And I think we had been dating this exclusively for like a month or so. Like I said, he was very, I'm the one for you. And it was just, everybody kept saying, he's kind of quiet and mild. I was like, he's not quiet.
I was quiet. I mean,
now when it came to me, he was not.
He
was very, I want you, I'm going to have you. And so, and he always came by himself. He didn't come in a group, or didn't come with a posse. If he said he was going to come at 7, he was there at 6:59. He was a man of his word. So I think we had dated about a month and a half. And we were in line getting food, and I turned around.
She turned around and told me she loved this after 1 month. So I was like, man, I'm a man. So
man.
After 1 month, she turned at that banquet, she turned around and said, I love you. And I was like, huh? What'd you say? What'd you say? You just thought what I thought you said. I said it again, and then she put a little kiss on me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, here we go. Yeah. And so from that moment on, we've just been together ever since, So it's just.
But let's tell them what you did for me. Like the second day, you was taking me to my car, and we're at a stoplight on 518 and Highway 3, and he leans over and looks at me. He's driving and says, "You are so beautiful." And I was like, "Oh."
I had a Randy. I had a.
I was like,
oh,
yeah,
he did. I was like, oh, that I was just young, just I mean, I had people say that, but it just seemed so sincere. It just came out of nowhere. We were at the stoplight, and all of a sudden he looks over and says that, and I was like, whoa, my stomach jumped and everything.
You know what? There's a lot of stories about the married, about the power couples that come on, and everybody's story is unique. And so even when Michelle and I were sitting up in Papacitos, and I was so amazed at what God was doing, because I made a pact with God that I was done. I quit. I didn't want to play no more. And so everything after that was like cherries on the top. I'm looking at Michelle as she talking. I'm looking at them lips. And I was turning my head like this here. And I'm just looking out like, man, what is God doing? She said, what is the matter with you?
That was our spot too. That was our first day. It was at Papacitos.
Really?
Yeah. I was going crazy.
They need to invest back into the power couples, because I know a lot of married couples have given them a lot of money. That's been a dating place for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's funny how you hear these stories, and when you meet these men, these pastors, these bishops at the Power Couple Conference, it's something. The one common thing is that they all knew. They all knew is that that's my wife. They all knew that their playing cards was over. They was ready to put in, they little playing cards or whatever. But it's like something real unique. Every story that we've heard, they said, that's my wife. And I wonder, Clint, can you speak to that?
Clint, I had to give up all of my decks.
He was going to be a dead turkey.
She was checking my pocket for pens and paper.
I don't know.
I'm still carrying.
Everybody knows.
That's what I do. I keep my pen in my pocket too. I do. Yeah, but I mean, just thinking about, again, I was 20, 21, well, 20 at the time when we met. And most 20-year-olds, especially nowadays, are not thinking about marriage and all that kind of thing, And back then, not even so much then, but I knew when I met her and when we interacted and all that, I knew the Holy Spirit told me, that's your wife. Wow. And I'm like, man, I'm 20 years old. I ain't really lived. I need to. I'm just now getting in my 20s. Can I? And and he's like, no, that's your wife.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, Lord, I've always heard your voice, but I don't know about this one. I like her a lot and everything.
Yeah,
that's your wife. And so when she said, I told her that, on our second date, that she's gonna be my wife, I had already heard the Holy Spirit tell me that's your wife. That's gonna be your wife. So when I told her that, I wasn't lying. I mean, I had heard it from the man himself. And so, but of course, I had to do some convincing with her, but that's so it's a feeling like, and people have asked me down through the years when I've counseled couples, how do you know that that's the one? And I can only give them what happened to me. Is that, is that when God fixes it so where you and your mate, your potential mate, you cross paths, you just know. I mean, he just has a way of audibly telling you this is the one.
Yeah, that's
so it's no magic formula. It's not a it's not a ooh wee feeling and all that. It's just you just know.
You just know.
But I ran for a year, and he kept at it for a whole year.
I didn't keep at it.
Yeah, you
just
kept at it.
I didn't know.
Well, we met that first summer, and I didn't give you a date until a year later.
Yeah, and I gave her my address, my phone number, and I had to read it back to him just to make sure she got it.
He called me.
And, so,
and I was like, dude, he said that because that was before cell phones, right? So so he called me and I told him I had a boyfriend. He said, well, I still want to give you my number and my address, and you can write me. So luckily I wrote it down because he was like, can you repeat it? I was like, really?
You want to make sure you had it, that you weren't going to lose.
Oh my goodness! I kept it, and and then I didn't call him.
And I'll just say this, too. This is how I know that that we were just pretty much meant to be together. Is that before the first date, actually the day of the first date, I think it was. It was Thanksgiving, 1992, and our family, our family had gone to my mom, dad, and brother. We had gone to San Antonio for Thanksgiving, and so we came back that Friday morning. That Friday morning. Well, we came back Friday morning. No, we came back Thursday night, the Thanksgiving night, and so Friday morning, the next day, my dad had a habit of when he got up first and my mom was still asleep and we were still asleep, he would take the phone off the hook so it wouldn't ring and bother anybody in the kitchen and in their bedroom. So he would take it off the hook. So and the people try to call, they get the the business signal back then, and so when I finally woke up and I noticed that the phone was off the hook in the kitchen, not in their bedroom like he normally does, but just off in the kitchen. And so I get up, I put the phone, because I'm up now, so I can put the phone up. Anybody call, I get it. As soon as I put the phone on the hook, she calls. And so I was like, hello, she's like, this is Kim. I'm like, Kim who? I'm still kind of groggy. Kim who? Kim Jones. Oh, hey, how you doing? I mean, yeah, what's up? And so, but I said to say, that's how I know, I believe that God confirmed, because what are the chances and odds that because she had been calling, but she been getting a business signal, so she actually called my grandfather's house, who has the same name. So she phoned up and called and saw Clint and Yancy, but that was actually my grandfather. And so my grandmother answered the phone and everything, and so she told him, that gave him the right phone number. You had the right number, but keep calling or whatever. And so, but what are the odds that I would, as soon as I put the phone on the hook, she calls, and we start talking, and ever since that time, we did. So,
and he was like, he looked, Michelle, he was like, I can come to you today. I said, a day?
I ain't waste no time. I mean, after it's been a year, I ain't gonna waste no time.
You know, right?
I know.
I was like, whoa. And then my mother was like, oh, Reverend Yancy's son coming over. Reverend Yancy, I gotta get you dressed. So I'm dressed in all white, a sweater dress with white high heel boots on, and I mean, she dressed me like a queen.
She was fine too. She looked good.
She dressed me up, boy. Like you gonna. This is a nice. We know the family. It's a nice family. I was like, I was home from college, but we've been together ever since.
Wow. So if you had to just picture or prophetically speak into your future, where would you say you guys will be in about 5 years? Where do you see yourself as a power couple?
Well, I would say still pastoring, because I absolutely love it, even though it can be treacherous.
Yeah.
He said church.
Treacherous. It can be treacherous. Yeah.
He didn't say. Okay, I ain't gonna interrupt you. He didn't say hard.
No.
He said treacherous.
Treacherous.
I
It
said,
can
golly.
be treacherous, but it's also rewarding, and
Yes.
I absolutely love it. So I do know that part. I hope to be, the Lord wills, still be doing that. In another church, a newer church, as well. We're trying to process that, get that going.
We're building.
Building.
We're building the church.
So I do know that as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
See, he's so focused. That's all. He loved pastoring.
Yeah.
That's his thing, preaching and pastoring God's people.
Yeah.
5 years. So what else you want to do? See, that's
Well, I would like to travel a little bit more. I love to travel.
and we're foodies. Now you got to find something in common. We like to try new restaurants and that and this stuff. And we're like rediscovering each other. We have 4 kids and 3 grandbabies and 1 on the way. So we're gonna try it. So we're gonna travel while we can, as much as we can. But in 5 years, for me, because I love politics and policy, and I was appointed the state educational chair for the NAACP state of Texas. And so in 5 years, I hope to get back to writing and doing movies with the books, and of course, assisting pastor with his vision and his team. We have an amazing team at New Vision Baptist Church, and just helping him to achieve what his God ordained call for pastoring. I just announced my calling in December 26th, so real praying about that, nervous about that. I'm going to follow his lead because he's the expert in that, and so excited to join him and do some other things with the NPeace app and travel and helping churches to convert to hybrid and learn technology. I love, like he likes the pastoring and the preaching. I love the preaching, but I love the logistics of the church and helping the church when it comes to helping the man of God put his vision together. But I think this is a time of proclamation. I think we're in a season of proclamation. After the pandemic of 1918, the 2 things that blew up were entertainment in the church. So we are praying for revival, and I pray that we're part of that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal, because I believe that is the rise. I often say when we look at marriages, what they're showing us and displaying in the in the world system, is different than what's in the Word of God. But I do believe that He's calling everybody back to the Bible, because it's still, when they get married, they go to the altar. When somebody dies, they go to the church. So there's never a part where we don't need God. It's just the way that the eyes of the church have been seen. And I'm glad that Pastor was real candid when he said treacherous, because the truth of it is that some part of churches can be, and it's not just one church, but it's every church that have dynamics of illnesses, because the people that come to the church, they're ill. So, you're helping to heal, those places where they're broken. And so I think the family is the God-given institute. I just believe that from the pastor, the wife, the children is his, model of how the Trinity actually functions. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So I commend you guys for the work that you guys are doing in Lamarque. You have your different lanes, but then you complement one another by the strengths that you have together. And the longevity with pastor having been 3rd generational pastoring, all of the expertise and stuff that he's had, and that's just in his DNA now. That's just his DNA. That's his bloodline. It's not good. If y'all have and so get ready, because he's gonna be preaching too. It's just one of those things that's in your bloodline.
So if you go to the doctor and have to get blood, and they pull out a sermon,
just might. So they just might.
But I want to mention something to you guys. There was a thing that happened the other day. Michelle was doing some work at the church, because we have this what's the system that you use?
Testing center.
It's a testing center.
Mm-hmm.
And a young lady came up, and I had to have a word with her. And it was like she mentioned this bishop that I know and respect, and his wife, but she mentioned them in a first name basis. I said, you talking about such and such, and his wife is such and such, and she say, yeah. I said, you cool with that?
Like Clint and Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute.
Pastor and first lady.
Yeah. We have a bishop and first lady. I mean, well known across the states.
Mm-hmm.
And because you go there, you feel like you could call them first name to somebody else. I just believe that that it was wrong, and so I was trying to correct it when I heard the feelings. You know, and here you are at our church asking for something. So you know, which made me believe that she would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Get cool with somebody, you know, and then just to be able to get what you want. And so I want to ask, what would be your take on that if somebody come to your church and they meet someone that go to the church, and then you just got it by ear that they call you by your first name and not the title that you so deserve. And same as with pastor, you know, how would you feel if that was to take place?
Well, I'm a stickler for that. I was taught that, you know, by the old guard, you know, is that when you're in the presence of a pastor, you know, somebody like that, somebody that has a position like that, you address them as pastor. You don't get too common with the people. I mean, not saying that you are better than that, but if you are the pastor of a church, then you have to demand that respect. And so that's what I do when I go to, you know, I have friends that I've been friends with, you know, for years. But when I go to their churches, you know, I address them as pastor, especially in front of their members.
Exactly.
Now, when we're in the office or something like that, I may call him by his first name or whatever, because we're close like that. But when you're in front of a member, you know, or somebody or anybody other than that, you call them pastor so and so.
Right.
I'm not. I mean, I ask that. I would ask that of, you know, but you know, I don't hit the roof if somebody, you know, I may look at it. If they call me Clint, you know, in front of a member, you know, I may look at them with a side eye or something like that, but I'm not going to blast them. In front of a member, but I would let them know, hey, you know, these are my sheep, and I'm pastor. But give an example. My first church, you know, again, I was 25 years old. I have a nickname, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but
offline.
You might not tell you offline.
You'll never know if I have anything to do with it. But I have a nickname, and having grown up in that church, you know, of course my dad, like she said, he founded it, and when he founded that church, I was 10, 11 years old, and so everybody knew about my nickname, and so that's what they would call me. That's all they knew, you know. But when I came back as pastor, I had to spend at least 2 years, you know, trying to deprogram them. That was me back then. Y'all called me to be your pastor now, so I am Pastor Yancy or Pastor Clint or whatever. I'm not that name. Don't call me that name. You know, I don't care how weird you know me. I had to get on family members like that. I had to tell them. I had to get them straight and get them together. You know, hey, when you're around here at the church, I'm Pastor Yancy. You know,
are you a junior pastor? Are you a junior? Are you a junior?
No, I'm not a junior. No.
Okay.
He was named after
I'm
two grandfathers.
I mean, after both my grandfathers, my mom's dad and my dad's dad. And so I had to tell them, I had to get them straight. You know, don't when you're around this church, I am Pastor Yancy. You know, Pastor Brother Clint, Pastor, whatever. But just don't call me we're not that common around here. You know, just we're family. Don't do that. You know, right? So it took about 2 years, 2 or 3 years for them to okay. And then some, and even today, some, you know, on the cool, they be trying, I don't care what to say. You still Pastor. So it's my nickname. So I'm like, and, you know, but I believe, you know, you give that pastor, bishop, or whoever, you give them that respect.
Yeah, absolutely,
I don't care how
absolutely.
well you know a person or how well you know them. You know, when you especially when you're on their turf, you know, you call them pastor, bishop, whatever. You know, and if they then let them tell you, well, don't worry about it. This, you know, you call me my friend, but you know, but you show the respect. That's just how I feel about it. So I haven't really had that problem at New Vision. So because you know I'm crazy. So
and so now, listen, Pastor Clint. Okay, all right. Now, but let's bring it back around to marriage. And so I know I heard Michelle ask you about 5 years. As of right now, are you guys building on something right now, you know, as a married couple for the existence, you know, of your time, you know?
Our time to, so much of what we do is with the community and the church. We look at like, what are we doing together? I know, no, really, because we, so much of who we are is in the community and the church. So we've had to, like, we just did a cruise together, and that was intentional, so we could spend some time with each other. You do have to spend time with just you and together, and not the church and other people, because what happens is you're so concerned about others, you forget, you can sometimes lose each other. So you have to be very intentional about the time. So we had a great time on the cruise that we went on. We had to kind of, you know, deflate a little bit. This is what he got on Facebook and said, stop sending her stuff on Facebook. You know, like, stop sending her negative.
I had to get on her. I was like, put the phone down. Just you know, the reason why you get mad because you keep picking it up and looking at this stuff, you know. So I got on her first, and then I got, you know, I'm like, no, look, we on a cruise, man. Y'all stop all that. You know?
Relax.
He was protecting her peace. He was protecting.
That's understandable,
and that's important too, Kim, because you know we're a lot of like, we're driven. We're result driven, we're goal driven, and you're absolutely right. But for you to be conscious of that, that's commendable, because you know, the time, if we look back and you say 30 years, and then y'all was together when you was 20, that time has just flown by, right? So more time behind us than we have ahead of us. And so just what would you speak to couples with what you know now, you know, that you did not know then? What would you say to couples? And from both perspective, being married and being pastors, you know, pastors and first ladies in marriage. I mean, what would you say?
Don't be naive. You know, don't be naive, and you have to learn to trust somebody.
Right.
You know, I'm a person that I don't trust a lot of people.
He's a pastor's kid. They don't trust.
Yeah, I don't trust a lot of people, you know. So, and but I would tell couples, you know, pastoral couples or just couples in general, don't be work on your relationships, you know, and make sure that you keep God first, because if you don't, it's just not gonna, you know, work too well. And that's just how we've been able to be together this long, because even with the ups and downs, God has always been, it's always come back to God. And because I felt he brought us together, you know. So and even through ups and downs, and then, matter of fact, that's the Sunday school lesson that, you know, we were talking about earlier tonight, you know. But Job, all he went through, but he hung in there, you know, from chapter 1 to chapter 42. You know, he went through it, you know. And we found out and we saw that, you know, he hung in there, and God blessed him because he hung in there. So God restored what he lost, you know, because he hung in there after all that storm. And so, and I would tell couples, you know, when the storms are going to come.
Oh yes.
Particularly young couples, pastoral couples, you know, couples just in general. Storms are going to come. It's not a matter of if they come, it's a matter of when they come. And if you're not able to withstand it, you know, if you can't weather it, you know, and you know, especially if you don't consult God and His Word, you're not gonna make it. You know, you're gonna you're gonna be tossed and driven like, out in the wind of you're just gonna be lost.
Right.
So that's what I would tell couples is that you gotta trust God. You gotta you can't get around that.
Right.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, someone has to be the prayer warrior. I know being a pastor's wife for so long, the pastor's home is a one place where he can be really human, right? And so you want to allow that break, that space for him to be, not Pastor Yancy, but just Clint at home. So I found out that as a pastor's wife, I had to learn to be a prayer warrior, be the spiritual temperature of the home, and carry a lot of that weight because he was giving so much to others sometimes, the other families. So, and sometimes, that would bother me. But then as I talked to other pastors' wives, it was a similar thing. But then I said, if prayer is the answer, I can do that, So I just had to, because I learned that our prayers can go places our hands can't go.
Wow.
So I learned how to fight in the spirit. I learned learned about Psalm 35, which is a fighting psalm. I've learned about, Psalm 91, that is a soothing psalm to provide strength. But marriages today in the world that we live in, you got to have prayer. You just, Jesus said, my house should be a house of prayer, right? So you got to make your house, your house a house of prayer. And a woman that does not embrace prayer, a married woman that does not have prayer in their life, you're making it harder. It is our comfort zone. But it's also where we fight in the spirit, because demons come after marriage. The devil hates marriage. I always say, if we went after Adam and Eve, you better believe he's coming after you. So you just have to be real about it. One thing I love about Clint is that Clint is a man that just loves God, period. So my arguments was like, well, the Bible said da 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 da. And he's like, so I'm like, da 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 da. What I do to the devil, you can't take this, and you have to guard your marriage. I think you have to have non-negotiables, right? That this is our non-negotiables. This is what I am going to put up with. This is what I ain't going to put up with, and so. And I think once you have those barriers and non-negotiables change as the seasons change, So I don't know. So our kids made it real fun for us because it was all about them, right? And that when they left the house, it was like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Been there.
I
was like, oh.
I did too, Kim. I literally cried. I was like, we dropped our daughter off at college, all excited about all this stuff. We're so excited, our daughter going to college. And that drive home was the most quietest, weeping, right? Because everything was taking you to school, taking you to practice, everything centered around our children. So those are great points. So this is outside, as we wrap this up, this is outside of marriage. You guys do something that's very unique and fun, and you keep it with being a young pastor and first lady. You guys love hymns.
Oh, yeah.
So give us a hymn. Sing a hymn.
Oh, Lord.
Don't let him do that.
Oh, my God.
He loves him.
Give us a shout.
I love background.
I'll do the background. Yeah, you gotta sing.
She put you up there.
No, I didn't. I really didn't know. I really didn't know.
Wow.
We go straight off. As one of my clients say, straight off the dome. That's the kids there, straight off the dome. That's that download. No, but God give us downloads, and I believe somebody be blessed by whatever you share. You guys' testimony has been so amazing, and just hearing another unique marriage. You married young, met young, and you hunted Kim down. She eventually said yes, and you met in church. You're a third generational pastor, young preacher, 21 years old, and to this day you still have a passion after God. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Amen.
And your marriage does produce things, right? Like we wrote a book all based on it, Confessions of a Preacher's Wife. He was my editor. When I would get mad and throw the book at the wall, he would go, you better get back over there and start writing. So some of the things that we did, we put in that book, Confessions of a Preacher's Wife, and I did that under Michael Center J. So we look back now and we read that and we go, God, we were so kind of naive. I think I wrote it after year 8 or 9. And I go back and I still have some great points, but it's just, and that's the fun thing of marriage, right? Like every season has a purpose. So we're working on our second, third book now. Look at it.
Well,
We just gotta have fun with it, right? Sorry, I had to put that shameless plug in before we go.
No. That's
before
a
he sings, because I ain't singing. So at least
okay. But you do background, Kim.
I do the background.
Okay, come on, Pastor.
Okay, all right.
Which one you gonna sing?
Just everybody. Amazing.
You gonna do Amazing Grace?
What you want me to sing?
Ah.
Are you singing with me?
No. You have so many. Father, I stress. That's like your signature.
Oh, no.
That's his signature one.
That's my
that was his daddy's too.
That's my grandfather's song.
All right. Well, okay. You want me to sing the whole song or just?
No, just sing whatever's on your heart. Just give us a little snippet.
Yeah, give us a little snippet.
Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. If thou
Jesus
withdraw thyself from me, where the shall I go. Amen.
Father, we come to you right now. For everything. I'm on bending knees. You hear me?
I get y'all some hymns in that marriage. I'm telling you.
You got touched by that tissue bag.
Oh my God. That's and you Pastor Clint, Yancy, you have that when them it's one thing to sing and have a voice to sing, but it's one thing to have it's anointing, but it's not anointing. It's I don't know what the word is for it, but it's almost like the unction to push it out and to carry it into the heavens.
You could tell.
To carry. I was feeling it. I felt it. That was the song we sung every Sunday at my grandfather's church, and I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. You know, that if God. Man, if he would draw his hand from us, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's why it's a three-stranded cord.
Yeah.
That's why it's easily broken.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we have him that's tying the knot that's holding us together.
Yeah.
That was so appropriate. Kim, that was the best song.
That once again, hey, Pastor.
Yeah.
See, I can't come to y'all church. I be like one of the old Baptist sisters.
Falling out.
Now his other signature song is "I Won't Complain." Now that's
Wait a minute.
That's his too.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's it. Now that's his signature song. Is "I Won't Complain."
That's the one that kept my heart together.
Your mind.
Yeah. And my mind. Now listen. Give me the first part, then I'm gonna pass it to you. I've had
that's his song.
Good day.
Yeah.
I've had some hills to climb.
Yeah.
And I've had some weary days.
And
some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over. All of my good days.
Yes, sir.
Outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain.
You better sing, Randy.
Now, Lord, thank you, Lord.
Come on.
I bet y'all have some church up there in Lamarque, Dickinson, Texas.
We're going to have to try to get away, but I know from where we at now, what we do at the church,
we have to take off for Sunday.
We're going to have to take off for Sunday.
Yeah, y'all do that. Do that.
Come knock a hinge off the door.
And then you try to play so quiet and modest. I'm like,
but it's something when you get, and I'm the same way, Kim. You know, you get me talking about God, you get me talking about the Bible. Oh, you get me. Now, I don't sing, but I like to sing. Well, I love to sing.
My baby can sing.
I can sing.
She can sing.
I sing by myself. Or with somebody. I sing with somebody.
Yeah, me too.
But when I get caught up in that part, I mean, it's when we just think about how good God has really, really been to us. Thank you, guys. Continue to be a light. Continue to allow your marriage to flourish. I can tell you, people are watching you guys. They're watching you. We're in the city you in and abroad. What you guys do individually as well as what you do collectively. Know that we're praying for you. Yes. We're rooting for you. We're excited about your future, your destiny. We're excited about your building. We see it erecting even now in the spirit. Enlarging your territories. I've been declaring the prayer of Jabez. You know, Lord, bless us indeed. Enlarge our territories. Keep your hand upon us and let not any evil come nigh us. And so I pray that same prayer for you guys, knowing that what you declare in the earth, it will manifest, you know, in your near future. And that God is on your side. He is on your side. Stand by 1 second. We'll be right back with you guys. Stand by 1 second.
Whew. God has been so good to me. I got to get a little bit more of that. He's been good to me. See, it's personal. Yes. That's why I love that song. And the way he sung it, Reverend Paul Jones sung that song. The words of the song, I believe I fell in love with the words.
Yeah, you should have.
And even in prison, when I was singing that song, every time I sung it, which was every Sunday, because that's what they want to hear. And I enjoyed it because it gave me hope. When I know I had 2.5 years left, and I received favor from the officers, the captain, the lieutenants. You know, it was just an amazing thing. So to hear Pastor Clint hit that song that night, boy, look at here. I know without a shadow of a doubt, they will be blessed. Yeah, they will be blessed.
We're excited, guys. Keep watching for more Power Couple Conversations. This has been amazing. You know, the question has been, will we continue this even after the conference? And it's yes, we're called to this ministry. We're called to, you know, unite these couples together. I believe and I declare that even as we come together at the Power Couple Conference, there are going to be people that other couples will be able to meet and be able to explore and be able to connect. They're going to meet their long lost sisters in the spirit. They're going to meet their long lost brothers in the spirit, people of like minds and with kingdom agendas.
That's right.
So we admonish you guys, get your marriage ministries together, bring them out to the Not Easily Broken Summit. It's going to be phenomenal. And so we're still excited. We're on the countdown. And we're just grateful for, you know, all that God is doing and his hand of provision that's been on the conference thus far.
So it's going to be Saturday, April 2nd.
April 2nd.
Listen, I say it every time we get ready to leave.
Every time we get ready to leave.
Don't meet us there.
Don't meet us there.
Beat us there.
Beat us there.
We'll see you there.
God bless you. We love you. Have an amazing, amazing day. God bless you.
Peace.